morning, everybody. Welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. Board Game Breakfast. We are here live. This is the eye of the hurricane. Because last week we ran the Dice Tower retreat, which I'll talk a little bit about later. Just got in from that last night, and we're all not back yet. The Dice Tower library is being packed up and brought in today. And then tomorrow we go to Gen Con. So, yeah. And then after Gen Con, we have the Autumn Spectacular, which is only 3 weeks away. So, got some fun stuff for you coming up in that. But we got some fun stuff for you right now here. Welcome to our show, a contest here from Pandasaurus Games. Thanks for their sponsoring this. This is for 3 copies of Wild Space. That's 2 words. You can see the picture right here. This is for people in the USA only this time. All you have to do to enter this contest is to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word Galaxy and answer the question, what color are the robot cards? I'm going to guess, I don't know. I haven't seen these. This was reviewed by Z. I'm going to end up playing this at some point. I'll guess they're clear. They're clear. So, but you can do that. So we'll see about that. So I see Loopy says, is this the only live content this week? No, there's a live Q&A coming today at noon. But yes, other than that, it's the only live stuff this week. But we do have stuff coming. We'll talk about that in a bit. But first, let's go to some contributors.
Brandy and Ellen, we game together.
Can we play now? Hi guys, I am Randy.
And I'm Ellen.
And we are back with our new segment called Gaming Related.
Yes.
And today we are talking about small conventions or smaller conventions in general. Mm-hmm. I generally categorize them around the 300-ish range, but more so a feeling than it is the particular number, because it's an intimate feeling. It's usually gaming focused.
Very much so. And you know what? This topic has come up a couple of times. We've had a few people ask us, why would you even go to a local, smaller gaming convention when you could just game at home? And my answer to this is, why, if you could make a cheeseburger in your home, would you not go to a pub to get a cheeseburger?
Okay.
It's I mean, come on. It's pulling you out of your home and out of the things that you're around and your stressors or reminders of things you have to do, and puts you in an atmosphere that is all gaming, and the focus and the whole vibe of the room. Oh,
yeah, you just have everybody's gaming, and that's like the sole purpose, you know? And we have weekly game nights. We absolutely love them. But going to a gaming, it's just, you're meeting new people. You're meeting up a lot of times with friends you haven't seen for a while, because it obviously will draw in people from surrounding areas. For sure. Maybe an hour away, maybe 2 hours away. And it's just another time to reconnect and just really focus on gaming. That's what we do. Obviously, the vendors are very nice most of the time at the smaller conventions, but we are going to these mostly to meet new people, see people we haven't seen before, and game.
I can play a game any old day of the week. I want to meet you.
That's right. And we're actually going to the Dice Tower Retreat, which is not really a convention. It's more of a get-together because they don't have any vendors or anything.
I would call it like a retreat.
It's like 24/7 gaming. That's the kind of stuff. That's our preferred. Next week, we'll talk about bigger conventions. We love those too. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Hi, this is Ambi from Board Game Blitz, and today I'm going to talk about Pocket Landship Free Trial Version, which is a solo 9-card combat game with dice allocation. In the game, you have cards that represent units. You have 3 units, and the enemy has 6 units. So you're trying to destroy all 6 of their units before they destroy some of yours. Each turn, you roll 3 dice to determine your attacks, and you get to choose how to distribute those dice among your 3 units. Each unit will get 1 die, and the units have different attacks based on what number you roll. So sometimes a number that you roll won't be a good action for one of your units, but it'll be good on another one. So you want to distribute so that you have the best actions possible. For the enemy's turn, you also roll 3 dice, and those get distributed from left to right, low to high. So you have some idea of what type of actions the enemy is more likely to do. For example, the left enemy will probably be doing a lower die action, so if all of the worst attacks are the high die actions, then you might not have to worry so much about it. The different actions can do attacks or repair, and you'll need to balance those out, because you only have 3 units, and if you ever lose one of these 2 specific ones, then you lose the game. But to win, you have to kill all of the 6 enemy units. Also, when the enemy is down to 3 cards or you've lost your 1 losable card, then no one can repair. So you need to make sure you've repaired enough before that so that your units will survive long enough to kill the enemy. Each card is a double-sided unit, so you can choose different enemies and different player units in order to change the difficulty levels of the game. Overall, Pocket Landship free trial version is a quick and exciting solo combat game. Thanks for watching Board Game Blitz!
Just ties. Actually, there is a game here we're going to talk about. This stuff's available at the Board Game Geek Store. Antique or ghost? Is it an antique or is there a ghost manipulating it? A little card game for 3 to 5 players. So that's one thing you can get at the BGG Store, but let's talk about ties. It's very ironic I'm talking about ties because today was the one day out of who knows the last many days where I decided not to wear a tie because we're moving to Dice Tower Library. But these are nice ties. This is my favorite, even if it does look a little like you're going to prep school. But I don't know. I like the fact that it's not asymmetrical, or that it is asymmetrical, sorry. This one's good. This one matches one of the pairs of socks that they made, so maybe I'll wear them at the same time. You know that's not going to ever happen. And then this one's the most understated of them, I think. In fact, people may not notice what you're wearing at first, but they're all fantastic ties. You could get all this along with the Dice Tower promos at the Board Game Geek Store. Let's keep moving.
Oh, you want to be a pirate, do you?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Today we're continuing our look at games you can take on your holidays, and today we are looking at Port Royal. We know for a fact you can take this on holiday because we have just done that.
Yeah, that's true.
Just been away for a week in Cornwall in southwest England, and this is perfect theme-wise, isn't it? Port Royal.
Yeah, very
it's
good.
It's a 2 to 5 player game from Pegasus Spiel.
Yep, so this is a card drafting game, brilliant for 2 players, and obviously, like you say, just brilliant for taking on holiday to the coast because it's all about pirates and all that kind of stuff. So the idea of this game is you have a little draw pile, and basically there are 2 stages to the game. You draw off the top of the draw pile into what's called the harbour, and you create a harbour of people and ships and so on and so on. And then when you decide to stop pulling out cards to the harbour, you can then buy, which is the second phase, you can buy things from the harbour. So if it's ships, they give you money, and the money is actually on the back of the card. So all the cards have got a little gold coin on them. So if you take a ship that's got 3 gold coins, you take 3 cards off the top of the deck, and that's 3 gold coins for you. Or you can buy with your stack of gold coins that you acquire some of the people, and the people give you special powers. And you basically keep doing that until somebody's got 12 points.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. It's a nice, simple game.
It's a great push your luck game as well. I do like that aspect of it. Like, oh, one more card could destroy me.
Because if you get 2 ships into the harbour that are the same colour, then you bust basically. You can't do the second phase, which is buying. Really great little head-to-head game.
And great to take on holiday because it's just basically a card
yeah,
game.
it's 1 pack of cards, which they split into 2, so it's kind of 2 piles in here, but 1 pack of cards, and that's it. Good to go. Really good game. We recommend this one, and obviously with the piracy theme, ideal for taking to the coast.
It's a really bad impression.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the breakfast, people.
Bye.
Take this on holiday.
So this is it. It's all been leading to this. Ready? Let's go.
Assalamu alaikum. Marvel Splendor, or Splendid Marvel, however you want to call it, didn't get as much love as the original Splendor just because of some of the rules change. But in my opinion, that's ludicrous because you can easily play this version with the new rules as well as with the original rules. If you are a lover of this game, especially due to the artwork like me, then there is a mini expansion available on BGG called the Epic Battles. Now, what the Epic Battles does is that it takes the inspiration from the City of Splendor's expansion available for the original Splendor. You are doing different battles. So if you collect certain stones, these power stones, and complete those orders, then you are going to have a special ability that is only available to you. So this comes with 8 cards which you can shuffle and randomly place some of them in starting in each of the game. So it gives you more replayability. So these are cool abilities which you get to claim once you have claimed that battle card. If you find that interesting, check the link below to download this mini expansion. Happy gaming!
All right, what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? Let's see what we have here. I had the schedule open a second ago. All right, now it's open again. So everything for this week is already done. As I said at the beginning, not much live stuff going on. I'm doing a live Q&A today at noon, so come back and join us for that. We have, what is today? I'm looking at the wrong schedule. I have the wrong schedule pulled up here. Let's pull up the correct schedule. That's true. There's Merchant Cove character overviews coming from Mike, or you can watch Top 10 Pirate Games. That's going up tomorrow. Yeah, so Mike's doing a lot of stuff. The big thing this week is Dan and Cora. If you haven't noticed, one of them went up yesterday. We'll continue to go through as you see Cora's top 70 games of all time, plus a bonus video. So that's going to be going up one each day, so keep an eye out for that. But we got reviews from everybody, and as long as the internet cooperates with us, Chris and Roy will be sending some videos out from Gen Con showing what life is like there. I'll be going through a few more shelves in the library, taking a look at the Golden Ticket game, the Willy Wonka game, as well as Steampunk Rally Fusion, Valor and Villainy. We got just lots of stuff going up this week, so I hope that you enjoy it. Not as much live stuff, but a lot of other cool things. So let's keep going.
Today I am recommending the game Kill the Unicorns. That's right, there's no rainbows and fairy dust in this kingdom. This kingdom is full of murder. Give me that sweet unicorn meat. It tastes like cotton candy. Kill the Unicorns has one of the silliest themes out there, and I love it. I'm actually going to read from the rulebook for a second because I want to do it justice. A long time ago, far, far away, a queendom was overrun by thousands of pesky unicorns relieving themselves on private property, eating endangered plant life, and subsequently farting a lot. That's right, this is a game about farting unicorns. And I'm sorry, if you are above farting unicorns, then we just weren't destined to be friends. The main action of the game is we will be using hunt cards from our hand, playing them face down to try to win these unicorns. Whoever plays the highest hunt value on a unicorn will win that unicorn. At its core, this is a bidding and bluffing game. And like most bidding and bluffing games, a lot of the fun of it is trying to read the other players around the table. What are they going for? What do they want? And how can you outsmart them by tricking them with what you want? You know, oh, you think I'm going for this unicorn, but actually I'm going for this unicorn. Hoo, 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 hoo. And when you outsmart people, it makes you feel smart. That's one of the best parts about this game. Who knew that farting unicorns could make me feel intelligent? But it does. If you like bluffing games and you're a fan of silly themes, then check out Kill the Unicorns.
All right. Oh, that's right. I do not wear the hat for this one. Okay. Hey, let's talk about conventions. So conventions, talking about playing games. So next week, I'm going to do a top 10 games that were played at Dice Tower Retreat. I'm just talking about the games that were popular there. But I want to talk about games that get played at conventions. Now, the games that get played at conventions are going to change based on what convention it is, obviously. Some conventions, I mean, if you go to a historical gaming convention, it's going to be historical games if you go to a Magic convention or whatever. But let's just talk about a general board gaming convention like the Dice Tower Retreat was. So what kind of games tend to get played there? Well, number one is the new hotness. The new hotness is always going to be played. There's usually 3 or 4 hot games that people are just dying to play. But every time I've gone to a convention, there's also the unannounced hotness. For some reason, a game that you didn't realize was going to be hot, people play. And then there's sometimes the game of the con, where some people play a game, they tell their friends it was good, and they drag other people to play that game. But more importantly, what games are not played at board gaming cons? And this is an interesting thing because I've tried to build a fairly diverse library of all sorts of games. So unless the convention is a wargaming con, I don't see a lot of heavy war games get played. On the contrary, a lot of heavy Euro games do get played. People tend to play those. But the heavier war games, especially considering the fact that many of them are 2-player only, which kind of dilutes that. Because big grandiose games with multiple players, say Twilight Imperium and things like that, those do get played. Dungeon crawls don't get played tremendously much. I saw Descent 3rd edition pulled out at the Dice Tower Retreat, and a few others were looked at, but not very much. I have several big dungeon crawls in the Dice Tower library, and most of them aren't touched. Giant games in general just don't get pulled out. The big giant versions of games, they're exciting, and people talk about them, but they don't just really get played very much. Small card games don't get played as much as you might think. Why? Because they're small and they don't get noticed as much. You will see maybe, again, one of them is the hotness. So, for example, Scout is a new hot little card game. So that's one that people are going to be talking about and playing, or the new Crew. But other than that, a lot of little card games just don't often get pulled off the shelf. And obviously, legacy and campaign games, I already mentioned Dungeon Crawl, but legacy games in general. And in fact, I don't see a ton of big Ameritrash games getting played in general. So for example, a lot of new hotness games got played over at the Dice Tower Retreat, but Ankh wasn't played a ton. It was played, some people played it, got it out, took a look at it, but it wasn't one of the big ones that was pulled out. I think part of this is because people are looking for new experiences, and people tend to like games that they can teach or can be taught to them. And I know that for myself, if I'm walking through a convention and I see 2 tables and these people say, hey, can you teach us Jamaica? And over here they're like, can you teach us Star Wars Rebellion? I'm going to go teach the people Jamaica because it's easier to teach. And it also doesn't require you to sit there the whole time and play through the game. So this sort of thing is fascinating. Expansions don't get played that much at retreats at conventions, because unless the expansion's new and hot, and we do have some new hot, the new Quacks of Quedlinburg expansion was played at the retreat, but unless it's new and hot, most people don't want to have to teach the game and the expansion at the same time. And that's one thing about conventions is most people go there to learn new games or to teach other people their favorite games. Yes, there's the let's get together and play Dune or Twilight Imperium or Eclipse or whatever it might be. Or, I have some good friends and we always have a fun time playing this party game at a convention. But for the most part, people are going to the conventions and it's a chance to play games that you're considering buying but haven't pulled the trigger on them yet. That's a fantastic thing. I highly recommend doing that. And so because of that, the midweight Euros, the heavier Euros, those kind of games are going to get played. Again, the card games don't get played as much because if I'm interested in trying it out, I might throw $15 and buy a game without having to play it first. But if a game costs $50, $60, I want to know if I'm going to enjoy it. So those are just some thoughts I had about playing games at conventions. Let's keep going.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks from Board Game Opinions, and in this series of segments I'm giving you tips on how to teach your board game. And this week's tip is use the player aids. Now, any game that's sufficiently heavy or complicated is likely to come with player aids, and they're great during the game. You can refer back to them if you've forgotten one of the rules. Oh yes, that's how this works. But they're also very useful while you're teaching the game. You should actually point people to the player aids and work through them bit by bit, particularly if it covers what you do on your turn. It's like having a PowerPoint presentation where everyone has their own personal screen. On your turn there are 4 steps that you follow. The first step is you move your merchant. The second step is you pay 2 lira to any other merchant in that location. The third step is...
Sorry, what was the first thing again?
If you look at the player aid in front of you, then you can see the 4 steps that you need to take on your turn.
Oh, yes. Ah, I see, yes.
Going through the player aid like that just helps ground everything that you're talking about. It's particularly useful in a game like Istanbul if you have a set of cards, for example, with lots of different symbols on. People won't know what they mean, and rather than going through every symbol and what it means, you can just say all these symbols are summarized on the player aid. So if you get a card and you want to know what it does, just look on the player aid. Right, that's it for this week. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
So Dice Tower Retreat, 10 out of 10. That's all I need to say, right? But actually, Dice Tower Retreat is fantastic. If you don't know what we're talking about, the Dice Tower Retreat is a small get-together that everyone's invited to come to, that we do once a year. Well, this year we're doing it twice. We got one coming up in November. We just get together in a ballroom and we play games like crazy people. And we bring the entire Dice Tower library, which is just shy of 2,000 games. And people also bring their own games. And we just play games and games and games and games and games. 5 straight days. We started at Wednesday. Actually, this year we started Tuesday night at, I think, 7 p.m. And it went all the way through Sunday to whenever people stopped playing. We shut the library down at 6, but people were still playing games after that. So is that 6 straight days? And then Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday, Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday. No, 5 straight days. But it's a lot of game playing. Yes, I would argue that there was probably no one playing games between 4 and 6 a.m. But other than that, there was people playing games. And lots of fun was to be had. It is the best group of gamers in the world. Despite the fact that I'm there. We do a key lime pie night where we bring in key lime, the best key lime pie in the world, and have that. We do a really fun game exchange. And so this year was great. Everything went smoothly, I think. At least from my end of things, we went smoothly. We only broke 1 shelf in the library this year. Oh no, 2, wasn't it? We only broke 2 shelves. But we got all that stuff fixed, and again, it's fascinating to me to see what games were played, but there was just a plethora of games. People came in and taught games all over the place. We saw old games getting played. We saw brand new games getting played. Not a ton of prototypes, which I'm okay with. Restoration Games was there, sponsored event showing off Dark Tower and Key to the Kingdom, which I had a chance to play, and I'll be talking about that as that one gets closer to release. But that's going to be, I think, a game a lot of people are going to like to get and play with their families. It was just fantastic to sit down and play with people that were just such a high quality caliber of gamer. And you say, what does that mean? It means they were fun to game with. And that's more important to me than anything else. We're a big family, we're a big group of friends, but you are welcome to join that. This is not a clique, this is not a no one can come. So keep an eye out for when we announce next year's retreat. We have another retreat coming up in November, which is currently sold out. We might open it up. You can get on a waiting list if you want to come. This one's going to be in Orlando, Florida. Just email Sharon, SHARON, @dicetower.com to get on that waiting list if you'd like to come. But I'm just looking forward to that. We hope you all can join us in the future. But we're going to put up a blog and show you what it's like in a few weeks or so keep an eye out for that. To anyone who came to Retreat, thank you. You made it the best gaming event of the year. And I should also mention, first of all, it's the only gaming event this year so far, but after 18 months, it just felt amazing. It felt fantastic. We're glad to get together. Thank you to everyone who came. All right, a few more things.
Hey board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back on the breakfast with another crowd surfing lanyap. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. Ninja Star Games sent us a prototype of Reputation, a 3 to 5 player game with a bidding mechanic that is central to the gameplay. Note, this is prototype materials. The artwork and the components will all be finalized in the Kickstarter. The premise, pretty straightforward. Players are going to compete as megalomillionaires trying to earn the most money over a certain number of rounds. You get some cool benefits in trying to make the most money. You start with a CEO who usually gives you some kind of goal to shoot for during the gameplay, and also a corporation, which usually gives you some unique one-time power. During each round, players will bid on winning public contracts, which are usually environmentally friendly projects that up your rep in the world community, or private contracts, which can be so much more lucrative in terms of money and points, but can ding your reputation. But the game would be too easy if all you were doing was trying to decide which contracts to bid on. There's 2 things that caught my eye. The first is you have 3 different bids. You spend some of your meeples to bid for the private contracts, but you spend meeples and the cash that the public contract generates, which is then moved over to the private one. That's a huge aha moment when you see it. The second twist, and this is probably the bigger one, is that the player who has the worst rep, meaning the most negative rep points, is eliminated at the end of the game and can't be declared the winner. So it's calculate the rep first at the end of the game, eliminate the bottom player, and then figure out who has earned the most coins to win. That's an interesting angle. You got to make money, but you also have to be friendly to the environment in doing so. And you just can't throw out meeples like candy. There's only 10 total, so bidding gets pretty cutthroat. I love the ebb and flow as your workers go out to build projects and then come back and help you bid for more projects. That's fun to watch. Plus, the game is not very expensive. For only $23 plus shipping, you get the base game with all you need to play. And there's a chance with enough backers to get some cool lanyap thrown in like custom player meeples. But the project out the gate is focusing on using recycled materials as much as they can, so that's a little lanyap too. So that's Reputation from Ninja Star Games. It's out on Kickstarter right now, and it's about as pure of a bidding game as we've ever seen. And until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Hey everyone! Today on the Plastic Canvas we're turning the free spirit from Ether Fields from this into this in just 2 minutes. Hey everyone, Matt here from the Plastic Canvas, and today on 2 Minute Mini we are painting the free spirit from Ether Fields. So the free spirit is the perfect example of how when I go to paint a mini, I always begin by looking over it to see if there's one part of it that I'll be able to pick out as, I guess, the focal point. Just a part of the mini that I can really make stand out, spend an extra little bit of time on, so that when someone is looking at the mini, that's the part of it that their eyes are drawn to. And with the free spirit here, it was obvious straight away that it was going to be that really, really cool wing that is over her left arm. So as you'll see in a little bit, once I start working on the wing to really make it stand out, first of all, I did a 2-tone effect to kind of match the artwork a little bit. So one layering of the feathers is brown, and then the kind of underlayer is blue. And then to really make these stand out and to really draw some attention to them, I then individually picked out each feather and blended it from either a dark brown through to a very light brown, almost white, or a very dark blue through to a super light blue, almost white as well. And what this does is it creates a huge amount of contrast across the entire wing, because there is so much depth in the color, because every single feather is either blending from dark brown or dark blue through to pretty much white. And so when you've got that much contrast against the rest of the mini, that just really makes it stand out and will draw everyone's attention to it. And I was super happy with how this ended up looking. But there's obviously a whole lot more to talk about with the free spirit than what I have here. So if you would like to check out the full-length video where I talk about each of the steps in a lot more detail, you just head over to my channel, The Plastic Canvas, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast.
And that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Check out our contest at the very beginning from Pandasaurus to win a copy of Wild Space. Thanks again everyone who came to the retreat, and I know not everyone could. I know some people watching would have made it even better had they been there. So we would have loved to have seen you, but I'm glad I can see you right now. And I'll see you again in 2.5 hours. We'll do a live Q&A here at noon Eastern Standard Time, so come back and join us for that. And like I said, we got lots of stuff going up this week. So until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production.